What is up, you guys? I am back at it with another video, and this is gonna be maybe a 2 or 3 part education, what to expect, and aftercare once you get nipple piercings. Before I get started with my tips that I have researched for a few years, because nipples have been something that I've wanted to get done for a very long time, but I just now got them done. This coming weekend will be 3 weeks for me. I will put the actual date that I'm filming this at the bottom, but I got them done. Where's my cell phone? I got them done November 18th, I believe. Let me just double check. Yep, November 18th is when I got them done. So I guess I'll tell you briefly how I ended up here. But for years, if you know me, I've been wanting to get my nipple piercings for a very long time. And I've been having a battle between either my cheeks or my nipples. I was not going to get both. I was just going to pick one or the other. When I went to research cheek piercings because I thought they were cool, I wanted to get that dimple effect. They also have some really dope jewelry. I learned a lot of things that I was just like, say what? So the first thing that I learned was that these are piercings that will never technically heal. And 2, you can literally be drooling out of your cheeks, and or while you're eating a soup or whatever, soup can just come out. So I don't know how I feel about that. So I was like, we're gonna just skip that one and let's do research on the nipples. I've been doing research on nipple piercings for maybe 3-4 years, I want to say. And the reason why it took me this long to get them done was because I am an impulsive person. I will do a tattoo, not all my tattoos, or a tattoo or a piercing out of the blue. And sorry, my babies are still having itchy problems. So obviously, I didn't get them done while I was married. I think my ex-husband would just not approve. Once again, he's very close-minded and just etc. Diamond is literally kicking me out of here. And then also financially and mentally, I just was not there after my separation. I mean, financially, yeah, but mentally, I was just not there. I was kind of just focused on getting divorced and now changing my last name. So I just really wasn't truly there to get this done. And the reason why is because in my research, you have to actually dedicate a lot of time to your nipple piercings. So there you go. Let me just start on the things that I found first. Okay. Before walking into a tattoo shop and signing papers to get this done, I will look into your piercer. Okay? Is the environment clean? Do they know what they're doing? How long have they been piercing? Etc. Because these are not earlobes. These are not nose. This is your nipples. Okay? Nipples are a very sensitive place. Very sensitive area, if you want to say that. So I recommend to do your research a little bit more deeper if you plan on getting your nipple piercings. Okay? So meaning, look at their website, look at reviews of their shop. Is their station clean? When you call the shop, are they being nice and friendly? Because I mean, a tattoo shop, it's like a restaurant, and if you get really great service, you're gonna tip your piercer or your tattoo artist really well. If they suck, then you're probably gonna walk out the door before even sitting on a chair. If that makes any sense. If you've never been to a tattoo shop, when you walk in, they'll greet you. They'll say, hey, what are you planning on getting done? If you have an appointment, they'll be like, I have an appointment. This is my name. They will give you papers. You'll sit down. You start filling out your application, and then you'll go into a room that is private, depending what kind of tattoo or piercing that you're getting, and etc. And you'll get done whatever you're planning on getting done. Okay, so meaning do your research before you walk into the shop. Then once you've done that, call the shop and say, hey, I'm planning on getting nipple piercings. Can I talk to the piercer and ask questions? You are allowed to do that. I'm just gonna say it out there, okay? Because I feel like everyone that I saw is not being as educational as I think I am being right now. I am not a tattooer, I'm not a piercer, but I've been to a few shops and this is the way I've been treated. So before walking in, do your research, get on your computer, get on your phone, look the shop up, look his work or her work, and go for there. Then call the shop and be like, hey, can I talk to the piercer? Or if you already know the person's name, which at this point you should, be like, hey, I need to talk to, I don't know, Johnny. I don't know. I'm just made up. My tattooer's name's Heather. So have a conversation. You can either text them if you're uncomfortable talking on the phone, but I do recommend just having some type of communication before actually going into the shop, okay? Just depending how they reply to you. Do understand that if you're texting them during a weekend, they're most likely are busy and piercing, you know, somebody, so they probably won't answer. So I would go ahead and text them, DM them, call during the week, and just see like, hey, what are your hours and what's the best time for me to go? Just ask simple questions. So if they have like other piercings going on that day that are already scheduled, you're not going to be in everyone's way. Does that make sense? So just be on top of it, even with your research, okay? Find a piercer who you feel comfortable with. This is a place where a placement where you are going to have to take your bra off, okay? So if the person's being mean, rude, and everything, I will just go on to the next shop, okay? Another thing you need to notice, if you want to be even more deeper into research, you can ask for their portfolio. If you plan on walking to the shop and before sitting down and getting this piercing done, you can go to the shop and ask to talk to the piercer face to face and say, can I see your portfolio? I would want you to make sure that the portfolios you're seeing is after getting the piercing, like right after, and then once it's healed. So meaning, just like a tattoo, if you see a tattoo, if you see a piercing, what are you going to see when it's freshly made, like freshly done? It's going to be swollen, it's going to be red. So if you're only seeing fresh piercings, meaning they're all swollen, they're all red, and you're not seeing any tattoos, I'm so confused, any piercings that are actually completely healed, I will just move into the next shop, okay? There's nothing wrong with that, but I would just say I'm not uncomfortable being able to see your healed piercing, because the same way kind of works for tattoos. So if you want to go into deeper research, meaning this is the only piercing you've ever gotten in your life and you're going to be terrified, I would do all the research you can. But those are the two things that I recommend you doing. I would recommend you researching the shop and then researching your piercer, just because you're going to be half naked, man or woman. So this piercing, what I found out in my research, some people said that it can take 6 to 12 months. Some other people said 3 to 4 months. So meaning, depending how you take care of your piercing, depending how your body is, it's the process of healing. Okay, so if you take care of your piercing very, very well, and I don't not just saying your nipples, I'm talking about anywhere in your body, they will heal like this. But also you need to put in consideration that your body may be like, nah, bitch, okay? So just keep on cleaning them the way your piercer is recommending. I will give you guys more information on how to take care of it after, but it's gonna take, summarize it, 3 months to a year, okay? So it can be in between. It can be, you may be lucky, and in those 3 months it could be healed. It can be 4, it can be 5, all the way to 12. So this is a piercing that you need to dedicate a lot of time to make sure it doesn't get infected. This is not an earlobe. This is your nipple, okay? So this is what I'm saying. Do your research, because this is a very sensitive area, okay? And next thing, once healed, it is recommended to change your jewelry. So, like any other piercing that you ever gotten done in your entire life, if you ever get any type of piercing with a gun, run out of the freaking shop. No one's using guns anymore. The only place that they're using them is at Claire's, and you shouldn't be getting them done there. Okay. Any jewelry that you get, okay, which you don't really have a choice when you first walk into the shop. They will give you what is recommended. You can get a specific jewelry. You're gonna have to pay extra. I'm just being educational here. So I will just go ahead with what they will give you when you get there, okay? Listen to your piercer. They are more educated than you. Okay, so your bar, I will put pictures. Your bars are gonna be really wide. Not wide that they're like this, but wide enough where there's at least an inch or maybe half an inch between your balls and nipple, okay? So I'll put a picture here so you guys can see what a bar ball is, if you don't know what that is. And once it's healed, it's gonna be actually a little too wide for you, and they're gonna most likely recommend you to go a lot shorter, so then your balls are actually touching, not like pushing in your nipples, but touching your nipples, so then it doesn't really get pulled or tagged or etc. Because that time of healing, it's gonna be swollen. You wanna just have that space. So okay, this piercing, okay, and I mean any piercing, but I don't want to say it. Every single piercing, there we go. You do not want to spin them. You do not want to play with them. You don't want to pull them. Leave your piercing alone. It's meaning leave the nipples alone. And if you're going to touch them because you're cleaning them, wash your hands. Whatever you're going to do with that area that's just been pierced, freshly pierced, healing process, wash your hands. But in between washing, do not play, do not spin, do not pull, just don't touch it. You don't got them, okay? You have no idea that they're there. They're invisible. Let them be, because if you pull, if you spin, if you do any of these things, you will get an infection, 1. 2, you are irritating and adding more trauma to this area. You don't want to do that, okay? You just don't. It ain't gonna be pretty. So just wash them how they need to be washed. That's the only time that you should move your jewelry. Other than that, get your dirty little freaking hands out of that area. Just do it. Another thing, you can play with the boobies. You cannot play with the nipple. So the reason why I got this done at this time was because I'm not being sexually active, so I just wanted to go ahead and get them done. So my recommendation is you can play with the boobies, okay? So you can do this, you can do that, you can whatever, okay? They can grab onto the bottom of them, okay? But do not get no one's dirty hands or your dirty hands on that nipple area. And if he can't control that shit, or she can't control that shit, you're gonna have to be fucking with the bra. It's just what it is, okay? Be like, just imagine them, that they're out, but I'm wearing a bra in real life. So you can play, but not fully play, if you know what I'm saying, okay? Okay, the best time to get these piercings done, my recommendation, is in the beginning of fall. The reason being, for the next 3, 4, 5, a year, you cannot go swimming. You cannot go swimming at the pool, swimming at the lake, swimming at the beach, getting a bath. Why? All these things have bacteria, and if you put yourself in that situation, you are literally calling for a horrible infection, there you go, into your nipples. It is an open area. Just don't do it. This is why I recommend beginning of fall or in the middle of fall, which is why I got them November, in the middle of November. So let me give you an example. Thanksgiving's coming up. You're gonna have a lot of days off because the first week after getting these done, it's gonna feel like you got ran over a car, okay? Just the boob area, not your full body, just the boob area, okay? You're gonna become extra sensitive. So I recommend picking a week that it's gonna come up and you're not gonna be doing as much. You're not gonna have crazy schedule. You're not gonna be running around everywhere. So, okay? So I just say, just get them either in the beginning of fall, in the middle of fall, because then that's November, December, January, February, March, April, May. May will be 6 months. So, beginning of summer, technically. So, you know, if they're healed, I would just go to your piercer, do what you need to do, etc. Blah, blah, blah. Got it? Are we all on the same page? I hope this is really educational for you because, y'all, I did a lot of research to just get all this information, okay? Like, meaning I went to a lot of different websites. I mean, YouTube channels, okay? This will increase your sensitivity on the nipples. Not everyone, but for me, it has. I already had super sensitive nipples and I did not get these done for that. I just got them done because your girl loves tattoos and piercings. And I wanted to get something done that was not my face because I think I have a lot going on in my face right now. So I just want to get something done. But also I didn't want to get like more stuff on my ears, even though I am planning on getting more. I just didn't want to, I wanted to go, you know, outside of my normal shit, you know? So I went ahead and got them done. So for me, they did become more sensitive. Most likely yours will become more sensitive too. So if that's something that you need, your nipples are not that sensitive, this will most likely make them more or slightly a little bit more sensitive. So just for your information. It will make your nipples perky. So what does this mean? They will just look perky. Not mine necessarily, so this is not for everybody. Mine are not like perky all the time. They weren't prior, they aren't now. So, but I do notice that when they are perky, it's a little more perky than normal, okay? So if you're in the situation like me, it's most likely going to be the same way. They will just be extra perky. But if you are always perky, they're going to make them always extra perky all the time. So just, everyone's different. Everybody is different. So this is a piercing that it is super easy to hide. Meaning, if you just work in an office, which honestly, you guys, come on. And I know there's some jobs where they're not okay with jewelry on your face and tattoos on your body or whatever. Come here, Ace. Come on. But this is a piercing that no one will know unless you like tell the person or show the person, or if you're wearing a super thin shirt and no bra, or a really thin bra and a really thin shirt, it's gonna be visible, okay? So, and yeah, Unless you tell people, unless you are showing people, unless you're wearing clothes that show your nipple piercings, it's going to be noticeable. But if not, you can literally hide these 2 nipple piercings to yourself and move on with your life. And then when you fuck somebody, you're gonna be like, surprise. So just know that you can literally hide this information. You can hide your nipple piercings. You can get them done and no one will know, just you and your piercer and your partner, or whoever you decide to tell. So if you are more private but you want to be a little kind of, you know, a little kinky, you can get this done and no one will know. So this is a piercing that you can easily hide if you're wearing the right clothes. Okay. So I did also run into this situation. Now, I'm only talking about this because I'm pretty sure you clicked on this and you want to get your nipples pierced, and I think this is the most concern for females is, can you breastfeed? Now, I did run into a situation where, okay, first of all, I'm not planning on ever having kids. I'm 32. I'm with no partner. I don't see ever myself getting married. It could happen. I don't know. Most likely it won't. And I'm a super protective person when it comes to sex, meaning I make my partner wear a condom. I am on birth control. So the chances of me having a baby are like very slim, okay? So, and I want it to be that way, okay? It's not like, you know, I want a child. I do not want a child. But if you're female and you want to start a family, I've heard people say, yes, you can breastfeed. And I've heard people say, no, you cannot breastfeed. Now, here's my opinion. I would not recommend you to breastfeed and have these done just because, one, the ball can come off out of these barbells and your baby can choke, okay? I'm just gonna say it how it is. So for you not to have that scenario happen to you, or, you know, you can be breastfeeding and it could just completely come off, I would say get them done once you have already had your family. So once you know you're not popping any more babies and you're done, like it's over with, go get these done. But if you're getting these done in your 20s and you're planning on having a kid in your 20s or 30s, I don't think it's really necessarily to get them done immediately. I would just wait. Sorry, Diamond likes to have dreams while she's sleeping. Okay, so yeah. Okay, and right after this, I'm just gonna go ahead and let you know. This is a piercing that literally will close really quickly, meaning if you do not have any type of jewelry in your actual piercing, this piercing will close like this. And I know this is true because one of my friends got them done and I was actually there when he got it done. I was not in the room when he got it done, but I was just in the same shop, and I think a few months later, he had to go get an MRI and he had to take them off and they closed up. By the time he wanted to put them back in, once they were done with the MRI, they were closed, so you cannot put them back in. I remember asking him how painful they were, but I completely forgot what his answer was. And I also didn't want to ask a lot of questions because he was married at the time. His wife was my best friend. So I just didn't want to make anyone uncomfortable. I'm going to end it here. I don't want to make too long videos, like too crazy long videos. But something that could happen with this piercing is that they can immigrate or reject. So what is immigrate? Like, what is immigration when it comes to piercing? Immigration when it comes to piercing means that it will move. So your barbells are gonna be like this, okay? Straight across. Unless you ask for a different type of direction. You can get them, I believe, like you can make an X, I believe. I think you can ask them to be up and down, but the most common is horizontal. So, meaning that if you're putting, like if your jewelry is too heavy, or if you're putting any type of pressure where the piercing is like this, your piercing will immigrate to that position, if that makes sense. If this does happen to you, I recommend you going to your piercer, the person who, you know, pierced you. Ask questions. What can you do? This is something that can be fixed, I believe. I'm not 100% sure. I think it just depends on your case, on your body type, etc. So if this does happen to you, communicate with the piercer. You can email them. I mean, not email. Text them or call them or DM them. And ask them, maybe send a picture if you're comfortable, and if you are not comfortable sending a picture, because, you know, people are dickheads and they will save a picture like that, I will just go ahead and go to the shop and be like, hey, I just want you to take a look at this. There's nothing wrong with doing either or, just depending how comfortable you are. Now, rejection. This is my biggest fear with any piercing in general. But rejection is literally your body forcing a jewelry out of your body. It doesn't like it there. It's not happy. It is doing whatever it needs to do to get it out of your body. If this happens to you, you can get this fixed. I believe so. It just depends, once again, how your body is, etc. I would just go ahead, go to your piercer, let them see. Maybe it's not a rejection. Maybe it's just an infection, or maybe it's immigrating. You just don't know. So they know. You trust them enough, and they should be able to tell you what is going on. Just go to the shop, ask questions. There's nothing wrong with that. And follow as you're being directed to do, okay? So I'm gonna leave it there. Let's go on to part 2. I'm literally gonna wear the same shit, okay? So peace out. See you guys in the next one.